Hello everyone, this is Money Mom. Welcome to the channel. Today I thought it'd be kind of fun to go down memory lane with you guys because I want to hear from you as well and tell you rules or values that I grew up with and share them with you and find out if any of you were raised with some of these same ones or share what you grew up with. So rules I had growing up, I like to live by a lot of these nowadays. Let me get right into it. I was born and raised in the Twin Cities, St. Paul, Minneapolis, Minnesota. So you guys know that I am from St. Paul. Well, I was born in Minneapolis, but I was raised in a suburb of St. Paul. And I now live in a suburb of Dallas, Texas. I was born in the mid-60s, and so, you know, things were done a lot differently. But my dad is Hungarian, and he was also a Marine, so I thought you'd find that kind of interesting. But we had certain things and values that we did grow up with. Number one, it was very important to my parents that you do not talk to people about politics or religion. You would never ask somebody who they're voting for. They did not want to talk about that at any social gatherings. And my dad did not like it if somebody tried to convert him. As a matter of fact, he was at the gym the other day and someone came up and tried to convert him and he's told them to get out of his face. So my dad's extremely direct. He does not want anyone trying to push their values on him. And that was important growing up. We were supposed to be respectful and not ask people personal questions when it came to how much money they made, their political or religious beliefs. So that's number one. Number two, minding your own business overall. You don't go over to someone's house, tell them how to raise their kids, or, you know, basically being nosy, which I'll be honest, sometimes I can be a little nosy. I don't mean harm, but that is something I could probably work on because I have a gift to gab, and so I can just gab away. And you know what? That is something that I could work on, being a better listener. Okay, number three, taking off your shoes when you're either in your own home and going to other people's home. You don't walk around with your shoes on. It might be because Minnesota, you know, you've got snow, mud, things like that. That might have a little bit to do with it because you have boots on a big part of the year, but you still took your shoes off, and then you would usually bring an extra pair of socks or booties with you. That's what I remember we did. We would bring our purse and then bring booties to change into that were just worn indoors, and we would wear them in someone else's home and our own home. Okay, number four, this is anyone's home. You would offer to help. You didn't just go over and sit and be a guest. And you offered to help, but a lot of times, this is big with my parents. You would know what needed to be done before being asked. You didn't just, you know, offering to help is fantastic, but my parents always appreciated when people would just chip in and see what needed to be done because of common sense. Let me know if that's something with that you guys grew up with too. Okay, number five, if you went to someone's home, you would always bring something. And number six, you never overstayed your welcome. You always knew, because sometimes we would maybe have guests that might stay kind of long, you know, and my mom would kind of hint to, oh, I'm getting tired, you know, things like that. So you never overstayed your welcome. And one of the things I will share with you about my parents is if you came over for dinner, you went home with a care package of food and goodies. My mom, we always had tons of food in the house. Okay, another thing is, especially for my mother, saying please and thank you, mailing thank you cards, and showing appreciation was always that was something huge that was really important to us. As soon as we received a gift, we sent a really nice, lovely thank you card. Okay, this is one's from my dad. Number eight, don't expect anything from anyone. You know, you work hard yourself, you do things for yourself. It's great if neighbors help each other out. Our neighbors, we always help one another out. My dad would go over and help them with their car. Somebody might come over and help my dad with something. Everybody helped each other. It's great. But you did rely a lot on yourself on doing things as well. So not expecting things from other people, or for a free handout, as I would say. Okay, number nine, my dad, and this is where I think that I enjoy working so much, is that my dad always said, even if you're unhappy at a job, you don't quit a job before having another job. And, you know, work hard. If, you know, look for opportunities to make money for a rainy day. You know, always save money for a rainy day. So that's really important. And that was something my dad always wanted to do, is live a low debt or no debt lifestyle and have money saved so that you would have money for emergencies. Don't use your charge cards. So that was really important. Some of these are from my dad, some are from my mom, some are from both. Okay, a big one for my mom. My parents were not really religious, to be honest with you guys, but the big thing was the golden rule, treating other people respectfully and how you wanted to be treated. The golden rule was huge in our house. Okay, another one that my mother taught me, and my dad too, but remember my mom. My mom said if someone's dating a long time, you never say, when are you getting married? Once they get married, you don't say when you're having kids. Once they have one, you don't say when are you giving them a brother or sister. And you don't ask any of those types of questions or their age. So basically no personal questions. Okay, and I'm not saying I've done all these things correctly, guys. I've messed up on a few of these rules. I did a long time ago. This is years ago. I asked somebody when she was having a baby. Unfortunately, she wasn't pregnant, and I was super embarrassed. That was a big mistake. Never did that again. Okay, number 12, chores were really important. And when you got up in the morning, you didn't lay around and watch cartoons. You got in your pajamas. You got up. You bathed that night. You combed your hair, whatever you did, got yourself ready. Sponge bathed for the morning, combed your hair, brushed your teeth, and you got dressed, made your bed in the morning, and you would have breakfast, and then you would do some chores right away. You always did that before you would relax and have any fun. So that was really important. Number 13, honesty was the best policy. My father always said, just be honest with me. Tell me what's going on. I will always be there for you, but don't lie to me. My dad always said that. He says, I'm not that strict. Said all I ask is that you're respectful and you don't lie to us. And that was really key. So that with honesty is the best policy. And last but not least, basically we had structure and we had a schedule. And that's something I'm finally going to be doing in my life. We had a certain time to do everything. We had a certain time for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so that we always had that. We always went to bed around the same time, got up around the same time. We had chores on certain days. When we had certain ways of doing things. Another big, huge thing that my parents were big on is we were never late for anything. I don't remember one time my parents were late for anything. And we got ready way before. So let's say that we had a 2 o'clock social event to go to for the family. And we had to leave to get there, and it would take 30 minutes. My parents wouldn't leave at 1:30. We would leave at 1 o'clock to be there by 2, and my mom would want me to start getting ready right away that morning because she never wanted to do anything last minute. So these are just some of the things that my family went by. I'm sure there's a lot more rules. I'll be honest, looking at a lot of these, some of these have I stuck with? Yes. Some of these, like the schedule, I would like to start incorporating, and I do sometimes tend to run a little late because I find something extra to do. So a lot of these rules I think I could improve on in my own life because when I look back at how I grew up, there's a lot of things I really liked about it because life was much more simple and it was a lot less stressful because we had structure, we had a schedule, we had a sleep schedule, we had an eating schedule, and it was just a lot calmer. But, things were different then. As we know, life changes. So let me know, guys, what kind of rules and how did you grow up in your household? And do you still live that way now? I want to hear from you in the comments below. That's all I have to say for now. I love you, I appreciate you, and I sure hope to see you on tomorrow morning's video. Bye-bye.